Hi everyone, it's Robin. I wanted to share a tip with you. I hope this is okay to share and you'll understand what I mean when I go along. But yesterday I had purchased the Digi image for this stamp, which is from La La Land Crafts. And she's called Christmas Lantern Marci, and she's so cute. When I first downloaded the image, I just plugged it right into a Word document and filled the page. And this is the size that it gave me. It's pretty big. I'd say about 5 inches. So pretty much too big for the card size that I'm doing. So I went again. I'm just showing you this one because you can see it uncolored, and I'm going to show you the colored one in a minute. But I went in again and downsized it, filled the page with a smaller set of them, and I got 12 on a page, which was really nice because I'm going to be mass producing, I'm crazy, I think, mass producing kind of an over-the-top card. Who does that, right? Especially 2 weeks before Christmas. I don't know. But I decided to go ahead and do that. And by the way, happy 12/12 of 12. So we'll never ever see that again in our lifetime. So I just wanted to wish you a happy and healthy and blessed day. So anyway, let me go ahead and show you the one I colored. And then these notes up here at the top are just the colors that I used for, I used my Letraset Pro Markers to color in the images, and I just made note in my messy handwriting because I was just trying to hurry, the colors that I've used for skin, lips, hair, coat, trim, and boots, coat and hat, and her dress and hat trim, and her lantern. And when I post this on my blog, I'll have these colors listed in case you too have Pro Markers. I did see my inspiration for coloring this, the colors that I chose came from the La La Land Crafts blog. Somebody had posted a card on there with these colors, and I thought it was so cute, but they didn't, as far as I could see, list the Copic colors, and since I don't have Copics anyway, it probably wouldn't have helped me. I could, I would have had to find a comparison. So anyway, for those of you that may have Pro Markers, I will have the colors that I used for her listed on my blog. But let me go ahead and show you a close-up, and she's so cute. So this literally took the better part of the day, my free time wise, just to color these in. And so there were a dozen, and I'm thinking it probably took 4 hours to color in all of these, because I mean, look at this, the tiny little details of her trim and all that. So it just was really time consuming. And the paper that I used is the Cryogen White, and it works out really well. But let me go ahead and show you what I did, and it does bleed through just a little bit here. But okay, so this is on the Cryogen White, and I thought I have a lot of cards to do, and I need to do more than just this. And since it's a Digi image, I could stick pattern paper into my printer and do it, print the same image for paper piecing, which may or may not have been quicker. But since I decided to color them, I thought I don't really want to spend all those hours coloring more. And yes, I'm whining. But what I thought to do was to stick it in my photocopier and to see if this image would photocopy. And I don't think that's copyright infringement because I purchased the Digi image and colored it with my purchased Pro Markers. So, and it's just for personal use. I'm not selling it. But I thought, will it work? And sure enough, it did. Look, you cannot, I mean, other than it not being as vibrant, you cannot really tell that this was a photocopy. So basically, I just, this is regular Stampin' Up! Whisper White cardstock, and I just stuck this in, and just like you do copies, it just went really well. So anyway, I hope that that is helpful maybe to somebody. And again, I hope I'm not breaking a copyright infringement, but since I did purchase the Digi, I don't think I am. But I just thought, I never thought of that before, and what a time saver. Yes, it's going to take a long time to cut all these images out, and I could have spaced them farther apart so I could die cut them, but I really wanted to cut close to the image. And so anyway, I don't have a card put together yet because I wanted to show you the full sheet. So I will be back to show you what card I have come up with. I'm not going to show you all 36 that I'm doing, but anyway, I will be back in just a minute. Alright, so this is the cute little card that I came up with. I love this little stamp. It's so adorable. What I did, and I'll go ahead and go over it a little bit, but what I'm planning to do is to assemble one right after I share this. But basically, this is the products that I use. This is a My Mind's Eye paper pack from a couple of years ago, a glitter Christmas one, and then I just backed it onto a piece of craft cardstock, and then the card base is white. It's 5.5 inches square, and all this white around here is from a very, very old and loved Adirondack Dabber in Snowcap. I've probably had this 5 years, and no kidding, I've actually refilled it with acrylic paint. Not a good idea. It works, but it's a lot runnier. So just a little tip there if you feel like refilling them. And if you come up with a solution that's not runny, let me know. Okay, back to the card. I'm not sure if you're going to see it on here because of all the layers. Let me just go ahead and show you on this one. I've gone ahead and did a bunch of stitching around the edges. Isn't that adorable? I just did like a loopy, wavy, twice around stitch. And then this corner piece, I've already attached that because that'll take a long time. So I went ahead and attached them to all the cards using a couple of glue dots as well as glossy accents. This is a gold filigree corner from Wild Orchid Crafts, and I used my Adirondack Dabber to paint it white. And then I used a Tim Holtz sanding block to just buff it a little bit to take off some of the paint and show a little more detail, which I'm not sure is picking up in the video. And then this is a piece of Whisper White cardstock that I cut with one of my Nesties. I think it's labels 14. And how I got such a small craft layer underneath it. Everything is edged with like a snowy look with the Adirondack Dabber. But the way that I got this is I just took one of these and then I used some Dotto or temporary adhesive and I put it on my craft cardstock sheets, and then I just, because it was temporary adhesive, it would peel right back up, but I just cut around it, and then I took and painted around all of them that I was, for my assembly line process. This got a little curled, but it'll flatten out when I add the adhesive to it. It's because I sprayed it with Iridescent Gold Glimmer Mist, Dazzling Diamonds Glimmer Mist, and I spritzed it with one of my markers. I have it right here, so I'll just show you. This is a spritzer, and this comes from Stampin' Up. I'm not sure who else sells it. But then I also used a Baja Breeze marker, and while it was still a little damp, it kind of bled a little bit. So, again, I'm not sure what's picking up in the video. But, so that is this layer. And then I used an old doily that I absolutely adore. It's the first time I've used them. I paid 10 cents for a pack because they're so old. But don't they look like snowflakes? I love them. It was a partial pack, almost full. But so I don't know where you can get these anymore. But I know they have dies now that do the same thing, really intricate. So that's that. And then this is just some gold satin foil lined ribbon that I've just stretched along there. And then this little tree, I just used some green textured cardstock, and this tree came from Marion Designs, Marion Creatables. It's a UK company, but I've had this for years, and I just used the Snowcap Dabber on that as well. These came from Wild Orchid Crafts. They are the 5mm red self-adhesive rhinestones. And then this, I used a Stampin' Up! Scallop Oval Punch, and then a large scallop oval from Stampin' Up! And then this is a really old, retired, sorry, but if you have it, I know there's other sentiments too, but if you happen to have it, it's called Best Yet. And then I just stamped that in some real red ink. And then lastly, this is just one of the small poinsettias from Wild Orchid Crafts. And I think that's it. I did put a layer here of some pattern paper. It looks like this. And again, I edged all that with the white acrylic paint. And then just on the inside, I used a layer again of the craft cardstock that measures 5 3/8 square, and then 5 1/4 square with the pattern paper. And then I use a light enough one where I can still write a sentiment, and you can see it. I have red marker that I'm using for that. And then this is a Wild Orchid Crafts, this is an I Break for Stamps stamp set that came from this sheet here. I shared that the other day. The code number is IBFSRB48, and I'll have that linked in the info bar down below if you'd like to take a look at that. So let's go ahead, and then on the back I just stamped it and I put 12, 12 of 12. So you can only say that once, so I'm going to milk it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. If you want to watch the rest of it, you can see how I put this card together. Again, I just took the layer. I already have done some time-saving steps, like I adhered this together when I stitched it and then added this. But then, let me get my card here so I know what I'm doing next. That's usually what I do. I have one already done, so it's just less thinking. I can just move quicker. So I have my satin ribbon here, and I do have a Xyron. I have a couple of them, in fact. I have the 2-inch one, and then I have the 9-inch one. But it's quick enough just to go ahead and do this. I know somebody mentioned that in one of my last videos, which, you know, it's fantastic. I love it. But for a video, I don't really... I don't know. If I'm going to do it on the video, I'm just going to go ahead and do it really like this. And then fold this around. And then for adhering a doily, I prefer the Scotch Quick Dry, because when I've tried to use tape runner, a lot of times because it's such a delicate paper, it will catch on it and rip. And this again dries really quickly. You know, Scotch Quick Dry. It really does. Just in a matter of moments, it's ready to move on. Okay, and I just do around the edge because I have other things that are going to be holding it on. I'm trying to remember. I'm doing this upside down too. I've done so many of them. I'm thinking, wait, something doesn't look right. I'm missing my corner, but I'm thinking differently. Okay, and then the next layer is this, and then I'm just going to use some ATG on here. And because this is a little warped, I'm going to go ahead and add some tape runner to the edges, just so I make sure to help that to lay flat. Okay, hopefully that does it. I'm going to adhere that onto my craft paper and center that using the points as my guide. And because this is adhering to, some of the papers are glittered, but because this is adhering sometimes to glitter paper, but also the doily, I'm going to add some ATG, but I'm also going to reinforce the ATG with a couple lines of the Scotch Quick Dry, just because I don't want anything to pop off. That was probably way too much. Okay, move this over here. All right. So I put that off-center just a little bit to that side, which is right to you. No, it's left to you, isn't it? Looking upside down. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my little tree, and I like Quick Dry for that as well. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot my other layer. Nuts. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to peel this up because I added the Quick Dry and just try and salvage it. You're seeing it live. And I'm not editing. You guys are just going to see it for real. Okay, and then I tuck this under the corner a little bit. Probably should have adhered. This was an afterthought, so I had already adhered all these corners on by the time I decided that it needed a little breakup of some more color. So that's why, I mean, ideally you would add the pattern paper before, and I'm not going to stick it under the ribbon because that would just be a mess to adhere that. So let me just go ahead and add some more adhesive on here, and no one will know because it didn't fall apart. Cut it in time. I've done so many of these today, I'm getting silly now because I'm tired. All right. See if I can center this. I'll just hold that down for a minute because I've already peeled it up once. It's going to want to come. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my my tree. And I'm going to have this, a couple of the branches overlapping a little bit. onto the label. The label's the nesty. Oops, I forgot to do the couple parts. And so I'm going to have it going up a little bit. You know, by up I mean above the layers here. Hold that for a second. Okay, now I can go ahead and adhere it to, which I can, you know, hold on to this more and let that dry for another second. I like to use the ATG over the stitched areas. Just, it's not going to go anywhere, but just to kind of help that so it doesn't come loose at the corners. And then here's my card base. It's 5 and I think I said 5.5 inches squared. And I'm going to turn this to me for just a minute. Okay. All right, now we're ready for the little girl. Where did I put her? Okay, so I just have 3 of the foam adhesive dimensionals on the back. I'm going to try and tuck her a little bit under there. Well, no, not on this one. On the other ones I did, but this one I didn't do the same. All right, and then I have a couple of rhinestones I want to add. Oh, I forgot. I just add a little bit of, this is the Cool Gray one. Pro marker. I'm just going to add a little bit, let me turn it to me, sorry, just a little bit under her just to ground her onto the mat. And I'm adding some 5mm to the corners here. I'm going to add 2. And then I've edged everything in Soft Sky ink as well, all the white layers. I'm just going to use my tape runner for this. I'm a little crafted out today, but I'm having so much fun. It really is a lot of fun, but you know when you make something all day, you just get kind of, I don't want to say tired of it, because I'm not tired of it, but just ready for a break. Just put these on here. But I'm really, really liking this stamp. I'm really glad I got it. Okay, almost done. I'm going to stick this right here, just on a little bit of dimensionals. And then the last thing, I have this poinsettia, and I don't have my hot glue gun plugged in, so I'm just going to use some fabric tack. You could use, well, not that one. Could use this too, the 3-in-1, but I have a hard time squeezing that. This is sticky too, but make sure I'm on screen. And this one, I've had this for a couple of years, so it probably is getting to the point where it wants to get too clumpy to be useful. So it might be time to replace that. And then we're just going to set that there. And I'm not going to smush it down too much because I want it to dry and have a little bit of dimension. So, you know what, I should have waited for a second to do the inside of my card. But let me go ahead and set this aside to dry for a minute. And then for the inside layers, you saw what I had in the sample. But it's just a 5 3/8 square, 5 1/4 square, and then the label's 14 nestability, and then the stamp from I Break for Stamps. Let me put the adhesive, put the lid back on my glue. Might as well just use this, it's right here. I'm going to turn this to me. I don't do good adhering something upside down. I don't know why. It's just a mental thing, I guess. Small things. Okay, and then use my ATG gun for this last layer. And one final bit of glue. This on the inside. Trying to do this upside down. And there it is, done. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing the process of how I put this card together. I am going to tweak it a bit. I'm not going to do all of the cards that I need this exact design because I'm running low on the paper. I'm just going to change it up just a little bit. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed seeing that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great day. Again, it's 12/12/12, so enjoy it. Okay, bye-bye.